Hello everyone, we are back doing another pre-race prediction video, this time around for Japan. So, I don't think it's going to be as exciting of a race this time around as it was in Australia, but I still have my predictions, so let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, nice little new intro thing that I wanted to see about throwing that in there, see how that sounds. And yeah, we're going to be doing a very quick video like we did last time around for Australia. I don't expect it to get too many views, but I also like sharing my opinions and seeing what people think. So let's go into qualifying, starting with the bottom of Q1. So I think we're going to have Zhou, Bottas, Sargent, Ricardo, and Gasly at the very bottom. It's not really too many changes. I think I predicted Gasly at the bottom last time. I think Zhou and Bottas I flipped around, and Ricardo obviously I brought down. I think I had him in Q2 last time, but after his performance last time around, I think it's kind of hard. My analytics machine is pointing to him potentially having himself yet another bad weekend. And Sargent, I'm looking forward to seeing him back in the car. He shouldn't have lost his car in Australia. Q2, I've got Tsunoda just barely missing out on Q3. He's kind of been the best of the rest, at least in Australia, aside from like those top 5 cars. And I think he can repeat that again, and being in his home country, I think he would relish that opportunity. P12, I put Alex Albon. He's great. He's fast, especially over one lap. P13 and P14, I've got the two Haas drivers. They've proven they are probably maybe the 6th best car on the grid, 6th or 7th. RBs are kind of there with them, but they don't always have that one lap pace. Well, Hulk sometimes does, but they seem to have a little bit of bad luck gearing towards them, and I won't be surprised if that happens again. I'm going to say Hulkenberg is going to get blocked in Q2 or something like that. And then Esteban Ocon seems to be getting the best out of that car right now. A little bit of bad luck, and Alpine just have an absolute garbage car still. I'm not really expecting anything different, but I think he'll at least maybe potentially get himself into Q2 once again. And then in Q3, we got the qualifying order. Not really anything too shocking or too different from what I had last week around. This time in qualifying, I did put Sainz in front of Perez. I still think, once again, it can be a 1-2 of Verstappen, Leclerc. I think it's kind of hard to ignore their qualifying abilities. They are probably the 2 fastest over a single lap. And then Sainz has been definitely on an upwards trend, but I still think over one lap, Leclerc is probably better than him. Perez, if he's anything lower than 4th in that car, that is extremely disappointing. Norris and Piastri, I think I swapped them around. Alonso, I dropped him down to P7 this time around. I just don't think the Astons have anything over those 3 teams in front of them. George Russell in P8, and then Hamilton right behind him. Stroll rounding out the top 10 of those 5 teams. I think it's fair to put him as the back marker of that group. And then going into the race, how I've ordered them, it's going to be a very boring race. Not too many dramatic jumps. I think the highest change I have from the grid is 2 spots. It's not going to be an intense race at all. I think after how crazy of an Australia race, I think we're going to have a very boring race, which to me makes sense. We are bound for a boring one right now. So I think it's going to be almost everyone holds their positions. I think this time Russell will get around Alonso. I think Albon will drop back simply due to that Williams being a Williams. Kevin will have himself a good race for once and will get that position over Hulkenberg finally. He needs to have that little bit of good luck. I think Zhou's set for a good performance because he's had so many bad performances and bad luck with that team. It's gotta happen at some point with Saubers. They can't be this bad at every single pit stop ever, can they? Sadly, I think that might be a challenge accepted moment. Logan Sargent, I want to see him have a good performance after losing his car when he didn't deserve to lose it. I think he might gain himself a couple spots, outrace the Alpine cars, maybe outrace Ricardo. Ocon, I think the Alpine cars are just still bad. He'll drop back in the order. Ricardo, I think he'll gain a spot over Bottas since Sauber is so bad. I think they're going to find a way to screw Bottas again. He'll finish down at P19, and then Pierre Gasly down at P20, simply because that car is so bad still. Alpine need to figure it out. Yeah, it's going to be a bad show. And then for my little week time predictions, driver of the day, I put Yuki Tsunoda simply because I didn't really have anyone who necessarily stands out in my opinion. So I think as the hometown driver, I'll give him the driver of the day. Worst driver of the day, Valtteri Bottas. I think Sauber finds a way to screw him over, and he's going to get what looks on paper outperformed by his teammate, who finishes in P16, I think I put him, and Bottas down in P19. That's probably the biggest gap in the field outside of Verstappen to Perez that I had. And I don't think I even talked about the podiums in that race order, so let's even go back. Yeah, I kept Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz in order, simply because I won't be shocked at all if Perez simply isn't able to make the passes on the Ferraris. I think his race etiquette is so bad, as he proved in Japan last year. As much as I think the Red Bulls have a faster car, especially in Japan consistently, and they've got upgrades this time around, I just think that Leclerc and Sainz are better racers, simply put, and for that reason they'll finish ahead of Perez. Gotta go back to this. So, with that being the case, that's why I have Sergio Perez as being the driver who under-delivers once again. Simply because he is a driver who should be competing for the win, and if he's competing for a podium, that is just not simply good enough for the Red Bull team as of right now. And the driver who I have over-delivering, I put Lando Norris. I don't really know why I put him there, simply because when I looked at my performance expectations as of this point so far, I think he might be the driver positionally who might be over-delivering the most right now, so I think that could potentially continue. I don't really have too many analytics behind most of these. I think it's going to be an extremely boring race. But let me know what you think. Practice is probably going to be starting by the time most of people see this. But I hope we'll see. And then, of course, we'll come back and review it after the race with my power rankings. See ya!